So I want to make a brief little bit video. I'm going to be showing you a fairly short clip from my webcam. Took it earlier today, today being Labor Day, September 4, 2017. This was recorded about I'd say roughly 2:45 p.m. in the afternoon, and I believe that would be Central Time. I was in the corner of Indiana, but it was near the Chicago area, so I looked at my GPS and it said about 2:45, and that could have been Eastern Time, but then once I was in Illinois, a few miles later, it still said it was about 2:40, about 3 o'clock. So I'm not sure exactly. It could have been Eastern Time, or it could have been 2:45 Central Time in the afternoon. But in any case, what it is, there was a car and a truck that were involved in a little bit of an accident. And they were both off on the side. Now, it's really kind of difficult to see from the webcam, but I'm going to go ahead and describe it, and then I'll play the footage that I captured from my webcam. But there was a little sports car that was off on the right, but just before that, there was a little bit of debris in the roadway. And the traffic was slowing down a little bit, but there was some debris in the roadway, and people were just kind of driving around it a little bit. So, initially, I saw the debris, and then I saw the sports car with its flashers going, and then beyond that, there was a truck. And I think what happened, the truck was probably in the center lane. There were three lanes, and it was actually a construction area, 3 lanes. And I think what was happening, the truck was probably going from the center lane to the right lane, and the guy in the sports car was probably not paying attention. He probably thought that he could just dart right in past the truck on the right. And, and the two things started happening at once. The guy in the truck probably started moving from the center lane to the right lane, and then the guy in the sports car decided at the same time he was going to pass on the right. And what ended up happening, it ended up kind of tearing off tearing into the front fender of the sports car, and tore off the headlight, and it looked like it got into the rest, not only the front fender, but into the front of the car, kind of the hood area and what have you. Normally I wouldn't show something like this, but what made this kind of unique, and again, it's really difficult to see from the webcam or from the dash cam video through my dirty windshield, but the car, at first I thought, well, it's probably a Porsche or something. And as I went by, the car looked like it had been really well maintained, but what made this unique is that it was a Tesla Roadster. These things were very expensive when they first, when Tesla, that was the first car that Tesla released. And people had to put up, I don't remember, probably upwards of $150,000 car. They had to put that money up in order to get those, and of course they were late getting them. This was before the Tesla Model S or the Model X or the Model 3. So this car was probably, I would say probably 6-7 years old, but it looked like it was in excellent shape, except the guy ran into the back of the truck with it. So kind of an unhappy thing to have happen, but the moral of the story is when you're changing lanes, I don't care if you're in a truck or you're in a car, if you're changing lanes, don't make quick movements. I don't care, you may think you're in a sports car and you can zoom in and dart out. Bad mistake. So when I'm in a truck or I'm in a car, doesn't matter. On a motorcycle, doesn't matter. Don't make quick movements. Turn on the signal, look, look again, and then move over slowly. And that's especially true in the truck. I don't know, of course this all happened before I got there, probably minutes before I arrived there. But, and then if you're in some sort of a car or something and there's a truck that's in the center lane and you're going to pass it on the right, don't just, kind of assume that you can just zip on around. Maybe you can. Most of the time you probably can, but every once in a while somebody's going to be changing lanes. And, I don't care how fast your little car is. Of course, those Tesla Roadsters are known to be very fast, obviously. I don't care how fast it is, how quickly it's going to accelerate. If that truck starts to move over, the truck is going to win the battle every time. You couldn't even tell if the truck, the truck wasn't damaged at all that I could see. But the car obviously was, and, so that's kind of a bad mistake. And obviously the guy, spent a lot of time keeping the car clean and keeping it in excellent condition, but you would think that he would put an equal amount of effort into driving it so that it would kind of protect it, but sadly not the case. So here's the video.
Is that Tesla will jack up the price once the features released. The price of autopilot has continually increased as it has become more capable of it seems also likely that Tesla will follow the same pattern for full self-driving. It might even use the Tesla network to digitize since phones become their combat on the network to help for the future.